Hi, my name is Brendan Grondin, and this is my journal reflection video for session 3. I find this class coming at a very interesting time in my life. I recently made a lot of job decisions. About 4 weeks ago, I became the manager of an assisted living and memory care facility, where I was in charge of residents' care and of the caregivers that gave it. It was a lot of work. I worked all the time, about 10 to 15 hours a day, depending on what was happening. And there was no communication of how to handle most of those situations. I felt like I was just thrown in there and expected to do a job that I had no clue how to even do the paperwork for, never mind how to explain it to someone else. And I find that very disappointing, to the point where I actually had to leave and go back to my old job, where I would take care of providers and their paperwork, which I did understand, and their patient needs. Now, that has changed a lot, especially learning from this class how to communicate with God, people, my wife. Communication with God has been fresh and new again. Because of this whole situation. I felt like maybe it was going stagnant for the last few years. I was very open to what God was saying, and I would just jump in to what He was pulling me to do. I've moved across the country. I've quit jobs. I've joined the Army. All these things because I felt like God was calling me to do that. And not that I feel like God hasn't communicated with me for a while or anything like that. It's just, it's not the same. It's not the same. I haven't moved across the country in a while, and I was used to doing that almost every year. I've been pretty steady with jobs and my relationship, except for this last job. And it's been an interesting journey. My communications and my relationships with my wife has been very different recently. I've noticed I've been attempting to listen a lot more. Kind of how we were discussing in that book, that you have to kind of see where people are coming from. You have to see what their motivations are, what their trigger thoughts are, what makes them think before we judge or assume anything. So that's been really interesting to kind of see those relationships develop. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any friends where I live right now, so those relationships don't really exist for me to see how they've changed. My wife and I are kind of more isolated people. We go to work, we come home, we eat, we hang out. She's my best friend, and I love hanging out with her. So hanging out with her is always my primary goal. But I've definitely seen a lot of changes in my relationship with her and with God lately, like kind of how I was explaining earlier. But definitely after these experiences, I have to trust God more, because the communication was so bad with other people that I had to trust God that He would guide me through it regardless. And I have to trust my wife in that relationship, that when she's honest with me, it's not to tear me down or anything like that, but she's being honest because she wants the best for me. And through that work relationship, it felt like she would tear me down when I would get home, but that wasn't the case. She wanted what was best for me, and she didn't want me working 100 hours a week. She said that I deserved more than that I deserved to have a life outside of work. And so that's ultimately why I left. All right. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.